Okay, today we have a little situation fairly common. We have this, which doesn't fit real well. I'm going to give a good seal. This is kind of a rigid reinforcing here to keep it from collapsing. So I want to shrink this tube. Now I could take tape and wrap this to where it fits snug and then hose clamp it. But I'm going to do something that hopefully will be a bit more elegant. From quite a distance away, start heating it. And if you come in at kind of an angle, some of it gets inside the tube. And we're trying to heat the end. Here I am trying to show a nice elegant solution, and instead I'm just burning the crap out of it. And while it's still warm, got a little misaligned.
There, that'll shrink it up nice and tight.
Yep. It'll have a good seal. I got a little bit over eager there, but that should do it. Okay, go ahead and get out of the way a second here. Okay, so we're going to test the difference of different aperture sizes here. You have this deflector here that will tend to bounce stuff off, and then by closing the aperture off, we can make it harder and harder for bigger pieces to get in there. And this is the biggest aperture plate that we've got so far. It's 5 inches top to bottom, leaving, yeah, it looks like about a 2.5 inch aperture there. And we'll see how it all works out and go from there. See how well it's sealed here. There's a little bit partial gap there, partial gap there. Now this material here is a little bit damp, as you can see in here, and this is what you call dead bedding, and it prevents wear on the metal parts because nothing ever hits them. So this dead bedding is actually useful from a wear standpoint. Now, if you were running samples, this would suck because all that's cross-contamination.
Yeah,
this is not
clean between cycles of material.
Hose it all out and everything.
Yep. At least brush it all out, get rid of 99% of it.
Yeah, you can hose it out and then just run it for a minute and it'll dry itself. But no, this is a production unit. It's not a sampling unit. Here's the preliminary results of the opening size testing. This was with no restriction on the opening size, full 4x4 inch opening. And then we put the 4-inch wide plate, which covers like an inch and a half of the opening, and got that. And this is when we put in the 5-inch wide plate. Now, this would be 16 mesh plus. This is 35 to 16. This is 60 to 35, and that's 60 mesh minus. So we're getting a pretty good grind. That's just got the slightest bit of grittiness to it. So all of these are doing pretty well, but I would like to try an even smaller aperture because we're not really slowing down the throughput that much that I've noticed. So I'd like to reduce the aperture even further to see what happens. But I mean, the difference between those two, I think this was definitely damper, so I think that may have caused the slightly coarser grind. It's videoing now. Now we're going to balance the rotor here at speed. It's flexing enough from out of balance to start hitting. Now take a look. We've got the belt undone so it can free spin. And you can clearly see that this is heavier. Now the funny thing is we've already taken the short bolt out and replaced it with a longer one, and it's still light on this side, so that's why it was flexing enough to hit. So let's throw a little more weight on there. And see what happens. That sucker's still heavier.
Yep, still.
Wow.
Boy, it's almost off that much.
I wonder how we got that much weight difference. Got a longer bolt. We're going to run out of washer space here real quick. Let's see, because yeah, because I still got to tighten it a little bit.
Put one more on, but
I
that's
can put this bolt in on the other side. That's maybe what I'm going to have to do. Wow, that is really out of whack. No wonder it was flexing and whacking. Because it had to actually be flexing the shaft to get 1/4 of an inch. Oh, come on. The play out of it. Let's take this bolt out. It's kind of interesting that it that far out of whack and it was still functioning, you know?
We're getting closer, but now we're take a washer off.
Oh no, it's still light. I just don't know how the weight got that much different.
Now you're getting close.
That looks about as close as we're going to get, huh? now with the wide open gap, running dry material at high throttle and speed settings. Very little 16 plus, 1635, 3565.